Joining us now, two of the crash survivors, Aryan Lockhart and Devaki Murch. I'm so honored to be speaking with both of you, and I understand that you both have very few records. You've had to quite literally piece together your histories yourselves. Devaki, why don't we start with you? Tell me what that has been like.
It's been an amazing journey looking through all of these records. I've actually been given the opportunity to have access to all of these big posters, the records that have been held for Friends for All Children in a basement for the last 50 years. And they're the only remaining records for many of the children that were adopted from Friends for All Children Adoption Agency. They're the only ones that exist. And so we've been given the opportunity to share them with adoptees now to find pieces of their history.
It's an incredible thing. And Aryan, you have letters from the orphanage to your adopted family. Can you share that experience? What is it like reading those?
It's really amazing. The nun who chose me from my parents died on the C5 crash, and so she's always had a special place in my heart. And having those letters is just having a little bit of piece of history, and it's the closest thing I have to just knowing about my past. And so that's kind of how we piece it together. We've got letters, we've got articles, and that's the best we can. That's the best we have.
Yeah, and Aryan, let me stay with you for a moment. How do you reconcile your life beginning with this incredible tragedy, this really horrific thing? What are the ripple effects throughout the rest of your life, and what are the successes that have come out of it? What have you managed to build for yourself?
So I would say undoubtedly Operation Babylift played a pinnacle role in all of my decisions growing up and throughout my entire life. So much so that about 10 years ago, I wrote a book and I tracked down Regina Alney, who was the medical crew director from the C5, and we forged this really, really close relationship over the next 27 years until she passed away last year. So that, it played a role in everything I've done. And I just about 5 years ago, I adopted 3 kids of my own just as a pay it forward, recognizing kind of everything that I've been given and all the great opportunities that I've had, and at the same time recognizing sort of what we lost, but wanting so much to just give forward. And Operation Babylift and what happened, I was determined to make sure that my life had great value and to pay it forward in every way I knew how.
Oh, that is so moving. And Devaki, you've created a traveling exhibition using your own personal letters and newspaper articles to tell this story of Operation Babylift. First, what is it like putting your personal history on display like this, and what are you hoping people take away from it?
For a more introverted person, as far as my personal life, it was really challenging because you're not used to going belly up in front of the public and on national TV. But it's also really important. And one of the most amazing things that happened is when Aryan wrote her book, what I realized is there's this book that, how did she know my words? How did she know how I felt? How is this shared history being conveyed? And that was one of the really eye-opening things, that we have these shared stories together as adoptees. And for us to come together when we recognize one another, but we had never met, is one of the most amazing things that we can have.
That shared experience. And Aryan, you mentioned you're planning a trip to Vietnam to find your family, and you've acknowledged the chances are slim of success here. What would you say to any family members or relatives if you find them?
So I actually already went to Vietnam. I came back just here recently, and it was literally kind of a needle type of situation. But if I found my birth family, I think I would just want to understand more about the circumstances that were surrounding why they had to make the choices they did, and then just wanting to have that connection. So when I did go back, though, I was able to find more of the nuns who were at Good Shepherd where I was, and that was like finding family. So it was really an amazing journey. Vietnam is a super special place, and I've been now back twice, and I really hope to make it more of a normal recurrence to go back and take my kids to.
Yeah, Aryan, you mentioned that one particular nun who did not make it. What would you say to her if ever given the opportunity?
So I had the really huge honor of going to her grave about 11 years ago, and I stood before that grave and I got extremely emotional, and I think I just wanted to say thank you. I was so grateful for what she did for me, and I really see her as sort of my first mother figure. I'm eternally grateful to know that she is a part of who and what I am and everything that I am.
Devaki, what would you like your family to know?
I would love my family and all of those who cared for us, how incredibly grateful we are, but also I want to find ways to recognize all of those who cared, whether they're here still on or not. One of the ways was finding the woman who took all those pictures of the Pan Am flight on April 5th and recognizing her for really capturing the only images of that flight. And that was one of the things that I did in this last exhibit with Pan Am, is bringing her in. And she actually came to the event and we got to meet her. I didn't really realize how important it was to all of those flight attendants to meet us and people who cared for us to meet us and see us as thriving adults. And it was truly one of the most beautiful things.
This has
And
been,
they are our family.
yeah, I hear that. This has been so poignant for me personally, and such an honor to speak with you both again. Aryan Lockhart, Devaki Murch, I know the work continues, and I thank you for the work you continue to do. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.